Hi there, I am Assistant Professor Chaitanya Sinha. Come up with another video where we will discuss about experiential learning, which comes under the course of 202 B.Ed, and the name of the course is Knowledge, Curriculum and Language Across Curriculum. So we have already seen or we have already discussed about child-centric education. This is another way how we can make the education more child-centric or student-centric. Let's see and go through what experiential learning is all about. Let's first see some information related to experiential learning. It is a well-known model of education which has been used since decades, or I'll say centuries. Experiential learning is also known as EXL. It is a process where learning is happened through experiences, or more specifically we can say that by the reflection done on the activities which are done or the experience which are gathered during the work. Aristotle in 350 BC wrote that for the things we have to learn before we can do them, and we learn by doing them. So if we want to learn something, we need to do it, and by doing them we can learn things. So in this famous quote he has written Nicomachean Ethics. Then in 1970s, a famous educationist, David Kolb, helped to develop the modern theory of experiential learning, drawing heavily on the work of John Dewey, Kurt Lewin, and Jean Piaget. Then, with the help of Ron Frey, he developed the theory, the modern day experiential learning theory. Now, we'll explore through the, let's just go through the different definitions of experiential learning. The first definition by Kolb defines the experiential learning as the process whereby knowledge is created through transformation of experience, and knowledge results from the combination of grasping and transforming experiences. That he wants to say that here that the student gets the knowledge or gets the understanding when he is doing the work, and during the work he tries to grasp and reflect on those actions from where he generate or he create his own knowledge, and this knowledge is being purposefully created by the students, and they are being directly involved with the activities or different kind of experiences which results into the creation of knowledge. Experiential learning is the method of educating through first-hand experience. So it is the method where the student or the learner gets a first-hand experience. Even the educators purposefully engage the student in direct experiences, and the active role of the student which they play during the experiences are also followed by reflection, and these reflections then results into the development of the body of the knowledge of that particular learner. And also experiential learning includes all the skills, knowledge and experiences which are acquired outside of the traditional academic classroom, where there is more of activity done, where there is direct actions being taken, so that the child understand things in their own way, they learn things in their own way. These these experiences also includes internship, studies abroad, field trips, field research, and also different kind of projects which is related to the work or service. Also, Experiential learning develops personal understanding, knowledge, skill, and attitude through the analysis and reflection on the activity. So it not only gains the or creates the knowledge, it also develops the understanding of self. It also develops skills which are required to do the work, also attitude towards understanding things, and very importantly reflection on their own action. So it develops the individual in all round manner. Let's see what are the different principles of experiential learning. The first principle is learning by doing. While doing something, the child or the learner learns it. So that is the direct experience he is getting, and because of the reflection what he is doing during the experience, he is learning things. So learning by doing, learning through direct experiences, learning from mistakes and achievement. So whenever the learner does something, he sometimes commit mistakes, and sometimes he directly achieve the task or directly achieve the objective of the task. So he learns in both the way, whatever mistakes he is committing, and what to be done, not to be done during the activity, that also he learns. Also he learns the fastest way to achieve the success for the particular task. Blending theory as well as practical. So in experiential learning, there is a proper blending of the theoretical knowledge and the practical work. Usually, mostly the learning is theory based, where there is the absorption of knowledge by the student, which is being passed on by the teacher in very mechanical manner. But in experiential learning, apart from this theory, practicals are also very important, which combines and gives a new approach to understanding of the subject, understanding of the content matter. So it blends beautifully the theoretical aspect as well as practical application of the theory. Self initiative and self assessment is the key. So it during reflection, the learner does a lot of self assessment. Even to start with the activity, they have to be motivated, they have to be encouraged enough to start the action, to start the activity. So there is a lot of importance given to the self initiative or self motivation, that the child or the learner is doing the activity with the self assessment, where the learner does the reflection the related to the activity, that what type of things are happening in the activity and what is going wrong, what is going correctly. So there's lot of scope that the learner improvise themselves and learn more things. Also, it develops a responsibility, sense of responsibility from the participant, as because the learner knows that when the activity will be successful, I will also learn more things. So he takes responsibility in participation in the activity because of his own or her own interest of doing and learning more and more things. Exploration of natural potentialities of the human to learn. So here we all know that each and every human being wants to know what is going on in and around. So this exploration, that what is going on in each and every activity, how it is being done, that is a curiosity to learn, helps the learner to go about and to explore the activity. So from where they learn a lot of things, from where they create a lot of knowledge for themselves. It also emphasizes on the process of learning, not on the product. So it emphasizes that in which way the student is learning. it not only give um, instigate the curiosity of the child, but also it focuses the child to be into the activity throughout, and continue the process properly. Maybe sometimes the product or the end result is not up to the mark, or not what it was expected, but the if the process is being successful, then we can say that with some kind of other initiative, the product may be going to be very good. But mostly it emphasizes on the process of learning, not on the outcome of the learning. It says that how the knowledge is being built on in the learners. So that is the main emphasis, or that is the main importance of the experiential learning. So there are different uh, learning cycles are being proposed for experiential learning. One of that is three-stage cycle. Here in the three-stage cycle, there are three stages. First one is do, review, and plan. Or we can say that plan, do, and review. So first, when the task is given or task is being put forth, at that time, first planning should be done of the curriculum goals, and decide what kind of outcomes we are expecting from the experiences, and what kind of activities will be given to the students so that these expected outcomes will be met. Then the activities which are chosen should be experimented in the class, or engage in the class with the student, and the student should actively take part in that, so that they can direct themselves, or self-directed learning happens in that. Also, the child or the learner as well as the teacher should keep on reviewing and reflecting and discussing that what is the next process, how we have to go about it, and what are the different obstacles we are facing, and those kind of things. So it should be reviewed properly, so that we can see the effectiveness, and we can see that we are definitely going towards the expected outcome. So reviewing, reflecting should be done. And also, when the activities are being stuck with some kind of hurdle, at that time discussions will be done in a proper way, so that it can be overcome also. So during the review, we check the effectiveness of the entire activity or the direct experience, as well as where there is also a comparison between the actual outcome and the expected outcome of the learning. Now let's see what four-stage cycle says. According to the four-stage cycle, it begins with the experience that the student has had, followed by the opportunity to reflect on the experience. Then the student may conceptualize and draw conclusion. So first it starts that the child is given the experience, then it was asked that you review or reflect on the experience you have got, and during this reflection, the child or the learner tries to conceptualize or tries to understand the learning which is related to the experience, and at the end he concludes and draws a conclusion from whatever it has conceptualized, leading to the future action in which the student experiment with different behavior. This cycle begins anew as a student have new experience based on their experiment. So when the child is doing some kind of experiment and they are having some new experiences, so what kind of future actions will he will get using this experiment, he keeps on thinking about that. So it includes the abstract conceptualization of the understanding. This cycle involves both concrete component, that is the first concrete experience where the student is being being put into the experience, as well as active experimentation, where he does all kind of planning and try out the same experience, the experiment related to the previous experiments again and again, so that he learns more from those, and he increases the keep on increasing the scope of the experiment, so that the body of the knowledge goes on increasing one after another. Then conceptual components are also there, where the child or the learner reflects on the experiences it has gained during the during the active experimentation, as well as when he is being put into a concrete experiences. And in the and also these reflections are being conceptualized in abstract form. So these are the conceptual components, and the other two, that is concrete experiment and active experimentations, are the concrete components of this cycle. So here in this cycle, both cognitive and affective behaviors are involved, and they grow in the same manner. That means the all-round development of the child happens. Let's discuss about the 5-stage cycle of learning, experiential learning. The first stage is experiencing, where the activity is scheduled, or or sometimes unexpected experience are being experienced by the by anyone, by the student, or in any other person. And that experience which the the scheduled activity got, or the unexpected activity got, from there they start sharing. That means the participant start reflecting on their journey through the experiment, and while 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 reflecting, they also keeps on sharing with the other people, so that they all work in a group, and participants reflect on the entire thing as a whole. Then the processing is happened, where the participant reflect on the observation that the other participant who shared the experience had. So sometimes it may happen a student, or when the group of student is working, one student um, shares the direct experiences of something which he has experienced, and then the each and every participant in the group, they keep on reflecting on the observations of that particular learner, or the participant, or the team member, and then they consider that, and they keep on discussing on that, and also tries to find out some kind of pattern in that, which is known as processing of that. Then the participant also, after doing a lot of discussion and reflection and observations, they generalize all the feelings and the observation, and they try to bring everything put together, so that they can understand something more, and they try to understand the work which is done in the real life. After generalization, the participant think about the abstract way, that whatever they have learned, or they have learned from this experience, where they can apply them, where they can use them, where they can effectively use these learning which they have got from this experience, and get better results. So let's see what are the different benefits of the experiential learning. It prepares the student for the real life. When the child is put into different kind of experiences throughout their life, the child learns more. The child learns about how things work in the real life. This is a very big benefit or advantage of experiential learning, where the the person becomes future ready, or ready to face the life as it is. It also helps to develop creativity because the child keeps on thinking about what does a lot of reflection, from where he understands what should be done and what should not be done, and to achieve the objective, what kind of modifications can be done. And when they think about modification, at that time a lot of opportunity come for showing their creativity and creative ideas related to that particular work. And also it gives an option to reflect. It gives an option to think about the task which we have already done and reflect on that, engage into the reflection, do a lot of self evaluation, where one can understand that what kind of mistakes they have performed, what kind of responsibility they should have taken, and they take initiative and be accountable, and they understand that whatever I am learning it for my own. So they take responsibility for their own action. So opportunity of reflection develops the child from within. And here it is believed that in experiential learning, if you are committing mistake, that is also very important. Why? Because from your mistakes you can understand what kind of thing you should never do again. So mistakes are always very valuable, and if somebody is committing that mistake, in that case also they are not being ashamed, they are not being put down, they are also being valued, because that is some kind of experience from where people can learn something. So it helps and develops a very positive attitude towards looking into the things in a proper way. Also, no one becomes dominant in the entire group or in the surrounding, because each and every person is valued. Maybe he is committing mistake or he is doing it perfectly, both of them are getting equal amount of respect. That's why they are being valued properly and nobody dominates the other person. It also accelerates learning because the student takes the responsibility to learn. So he is motivated from within with the positive attitude, with the ability to take responsibility, and with the meanings which he is constructing inside him, and the understanding which he is getting from his direct experiences, which which develops more accelerated learning, and also increases the pace of understanding of the things, the pace of applying the things into the real life, and it is gives a better understanding of the things, which is very superior than the rote memory. It improves the attitude towards learning. The student improves the attitude because they are being valued. They always be motivated, always be encouraged to learn more and more things, different things. So they improve their attitude towards learning, and the child becomes more attentive in the classroom. They think beyond the classroom. They can apply the knowledge which they are getting in the classroom into the outside also. So they become more interested in learning. They know the value of what they are learning and how they can practice it. So they become more interested into the learning. Also, it develops the career orientation knowledge. So whatever the career the child wants to, or the learner wants to pursue in future, it is mostly based on that. So there is it bridges the gap between the theory and the practices. And when the practices are when the theory are being applied properly, or the student knows that how to apply the knowledge in a proper way what they have learned, in their real life, they become more career oriented, and it may help them to develop their career in a better and effective way. So these are the benefits of experiential learning. I hope you all have understood the concept of experiential learning, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you and happy learning.